Hi everybody and welcome to a selfie of Mr. Douglas's math channel. Yes, I forgot my video camera today. So, we are still going to be taking a look at circles and we're looking at the circumference. Are you ready everybody? Here we go. So we're looking at the circumference of circles. So this is one of the lessons that will go along with probably the area of circles. And we need to have some good vocabulary when we're talking about the circumference of circles. So let's get a circle in here. And oh, hey, there's a circle. Let's make it like green. So I'm just going like this. There's my circle. Boom. And I'm going to need a line. So I'm going to go and kind of just take this line. I'm going to imagine that it basically is going through the center of my circle. That looks pretty good. And we'll make a kind of like a dot here to kind of show the center of the circle. And let's go and throw in some words here. So these are words that your math teacher is going to want you to know. So we have this part here, and we call that the diameter. And if we took only half of the diameter, just half of it, we would call that the radius. And if I was going to go all the way around, that was a race car. If I was going to go all the way around the circle, we call that the circumference. So I like to shorten to circ. Circ for short because I'm lazy. You want to think about it in kids' terms. It's like the perimeter. Okay, it's a perimeter, but basically for circles. Okay, we need some formulas. So what formulas are you going to learn? I'm really hoping you already watched mine. Video, and you know the area of a circle is going to be pi r squared. But today is all about the circumference. So the circumference of a circle. You can make two different versions of it. You can have something called pi times the diameter. Or some people like to say 2 pi r. So when you think about that, so take a look at the diameter. So one diameter is equal to 2 radiuses. So that's why I can go and say 2 pi r, so 2 radiuses there, or just 1 diameter. It's the same thing. So there you go. Those are the formulas that we're going to be playing around with today. So let's just get into it, shall we? Let's go and do a nice happy yellow circle. Oops. There we go. So there's my happy yellow circle. Get rid of that there. And I'm just going to quickly just kind of draw. There we go, diameter. And let's use some nice easy numbers. Let's use like the number 28. And we'll be in Canada, I guess. I'll say 28 centimeters. And I want to know what's the circumference. So what's the circumference? What's it going to be? Well, I love when kids, show the formula first when they're solving stuff. So imagine the circumference of a circle is going to be pi d. I'm going to use pi d for this example. And for pi, there's a couple other things. So what is pi? So pi is either 3.14 or it's going to be 22 over 7. Now I should be mathy and I shouldn't be saying equals because it's not really 3.14, is it? It's almost. So let's do the almost. So there we go, little squiggles. So it's almost like that. That's usually what math teachers are going to have you writing things in. So let's go and do it, shall we? Here we go. So I'm going to use 22 over 7 for this one here. So here we go. I'm going to say that's 22 over 7, and I'm going to say it's times, now 28. I like putting it over 1. I'm going to show you why in a second. Now, this means we have to go and multiply. So you could be crazy and go and multiply 22 times 28. Now, that would be a giant number, and that would be tough. So, hey, can we cross-reduce? Oh my gosh, yes we can. I'm going to divide this by 7 and this by 7. And now, what's 22 times 4? Remember, I'm multiplying across the top. and across the bottom. So 22 times 4 is going to give me 88, and of course 1 times 1 is just 1. So what's the circumference? It's basically going to be 88 centimeters. Boom, just like that. So cross-reducing it is something to kind of take into consideration. Let's get another, whoa, let's not do that. Let's go and get another circle, and we'll make it a purple circle. Purple, how about a gray circle? So there's a gray circle. Now ideally I can move this circle over here. Does that just work? Nope, I'm making my gray circle there. I'm still getting the use of creating my circles. And this time though, I'm not going to give a diameter. I'm going to say the radius. And the radius I will say is 5 meters. Ooh, it's a bigger circle. So I'm given the radius, so that lends itself to probably using 2 pi r if you want to do it that way. So I'm going to use 2. I'm going to use 3.14 and times my radius, which is going to be 5. So here I'm just multiplying everything by that. Now here's some interesting numbers, right? Now if I did 2 times 3.14, that sounds hard because I have some decimals in there and stuff like that. But remember, when you multiply, is 2 times 3 the same as 3 times 2? Hopefully you think, like, yeah, it is. So could I multiply 2 and 5 first? Could I do that? Sure. Definitely could. So what's 2 times 5? That's just 10. And what's 10 times 3.14? Well, hopefully you remember that that's just a simple little move the decimal rule. So 10 times that means I'm moving the decimal one place over to the right. So my answer would basically be 31.4 meters. And there you go. Now, that gives you an example with using diameter and using radius. But there's something also really interesting that your teachers might be asking you to do. They might ask you to do the following. Answer in terms, in terms of pi. What is that? What does that mean? It means you will leave pi in your answer. You're not going to actually calculate with it. Now, if I'm a kid, I'm still like, what are you talking about, Mr. Douglas? So, let's show you. So, here's my circle. And what do you guys want? Diameter, or do you want the radius? What do you guys want? Oh, I heard you. You guys said you wanted the diameter. Okay. And I'll say the diameter. I'll say the diameter is 12. Like that. So if I want to know what the circumference is, so what's the circumference? And you know what? Just for a bonus, I'm going to do the area. I'm going to do both. I'm going to show you. We're going to leave, we're going to answer in terms of pi. Okay, so first things first, let's go and do the circumference. Well, this one is just pi times d. So pi is pi now. I'm not going to use 3.14 or 22 over 7. And the diameter is just 12. So that just means it's pi times 12, which is 12 pi. So usually when we do this, we put pi at the end. So I would just answer as that. My answer is 12 pi. That's it. You leave it like that. You don't go and calculate with pi. What? That's just weird. Now this one is pi r squared. Okay, well, a couple things. It has r, so we need to figure out what the radius is. Now the radius, remember, is basically half the diameter. So what's that radius going to be? It's going to be 6. So this is pi times the radius, which is 6, and squared. I'm going to go and do the 6 squared, so that's 36. Right, so pi times 36. But I'm going to answer in terms of pi, which I'm not going to calculate. So my answer is actually 36 pi. Now, notice I'm using the actual equal sign now because it really truly does equal 36 pi. So why is that better to sometimes answer in terms of pi? Well, it's better because it's perfectly accurate. We're not rounding at all because, as you know, with pi, I mean, it goes on forever, so you can't really get an actual specific definite answer. You can only get really close to it. So 36 pi is the most accurate answer you could possibly get. So if a teacher asks you to leave your answer in terms of pi, that is what they are meaning. Pretty cool, right? All right. So now we're going to do a bonus question, and it's going to involve one of my favorite characters of all time. That's right, we're looking at Pac-Man. Do you guys know who Pac-Man is? Well, Pac-Man is super popular. Let's go and just put Pac-Man where he deserves to be, which is in the center of the screen. And I'm going to just alter Pac-Man just a little bit. So this is going to be kind of interesting. So Pac-Man, I'm just going to go, and I'm going to just use a little bit of Pac-Man. So imagine I've done this like actually perfectly. So just imagine I've actually done this perfectly. And can you see Pac-Man there? Can you see him? So imagine that he was going and he was eating the ghosts. If you're really like one of my favorite students of all time, you would be able to tell me which ghost is this. Do you guys know the answer? It's Blinky. It's Blinky the ghost. Okay. So this is Pac-Man. And as you can see, it is basically, so Pac-Man is basically 3/4 of a circle. Okay, so that's basically what Pac-Man is. So I'm going to go and figure out what is the circumference. And this is more I'll write the whole thing, I guess. I won't be lazy. Circumference and the area. Okay, so we're going to go and take a look at that. So this is 3/4. Let's throw some numbers in here because we need numbers. So I'm going to say this little distance here, I'm going to use, let's use some good numbers. I'm going to say it's 7. Okay, I can say it's 7 centimeters, just like that. Okay, so that means if this is the center of the circle, so this would be considered the radius. So the radiuses are all going to be the same. So that means that this would also be 7 centimeters. Okay, and if I was to obviously extend this line, if I was to extend it, that means this whole diameter would be 14 centimeters. Okay, so there we go. So let's get rid of the ghosts. They're always scary. There you go. And let's go and do it, shall we? Yeah, let's do it. So let's do the area. So the area is going to be cool. So it's pi r squared, just like that. And oh gosh, what should we do here? Should we leave it in terms of pi? Should we do that? Or should we use 22/7? I'm going to use 22/7. So I'm going to be a little bit more accurate here. So 22/7, or not accurate, I guess, times the radius squared. And I need to take 3/4 of it. So I'm going to times it by another 3/4, like that. This is basically what is happening. So let's just go and summarize this. This is 22/7 times r squared. So what's 7 times 7? That's 49. And then I'm taking 3/4 of it. Remember, multiplying means of. So it's 3/4 because I need to go and get rid of this other quarter. Now, let's go and do some cross-reducing. Cross-reducing is the key here. So I'm going to divide this by 7 and this by 7. And don't forget, I can divide this by 2 and this by 2. And now it's, I think this is reasonable to go and multiply. 7 times 3 times 11. So basically we have 11 times 7 times 3 all over 2. Okay, so that's basically what you're going to be doing. So depending on your teacher, they might let you use calculators for this, or they might not. I don't know. It depends. So you get 231 over 2, basically. So where's my little thing? So 231 over 2 centimeters squared. Now, usually, you'd want to give probably a decimal answer. So that would actually be 15.5 centimeters squared. Cool. Now, if you want to go and do the circumference, let's actually just go and let's do it over here on the other side. Let's get rid of that. So we're going to do the circumference way over here. So the circumference is going to be, let's use the idea of pi d. But again, so this is interesting, right? So pi d, but we have to take 3/4 of it. So don't forget, it's pi d, and we're only taking 3/4 of it, though. There's going to be a trick, though, isn't there? You already see the trick? I think you do. So pi d. So here we go. And should we leave our answer in terms? No, actually, you know what? Let's go and use 22/7 again. So let's just use 22/7. That's my favorite one to use. So 22/7 times the diameter, which is going to be 14, times 3/4. Okay, so I'm basically calculating this. Right, that's what I'm basically doing, because I'm taking 3/4 of it. And as I do that, I'm hoping you're seeing like, uh-oh, he's forgetting something. We'll get to that in a second. Let's go and cross reduce. So I'm dividing this by 7. I'm dividing this by 2. And I get 11 times 2 times 3 all over 2. Ooh, can I go and cross reduce that some more? Oh, that's awesome. I love doing this. I'm going to cross out that one, and I'm going to cross out that one. So I can actually cross these out. There they go. So it's 11 times 3. So it's just going to be 33 centimeters. I'm all done, right? But don't forget, you have this 7 and you have this 7, don't you? You need to go and add 14 more. So you're going to have to go and do that. So your answer, your final answer, is actually going to be 47 centimeters. All right, so there's your circumference, and there is your area. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this edition of Math with Mr. Douglas. I hope you enjoyed the video on circumference. Check out the one on area, and you'll be all set in the wonderful world of circles. Until next time, have a great day.